What do you do when you prayed, believed, abandoned? Things got worse. This is the shocking opening of the Torah portion. Vivera, redemption has supposedly begun, yet suffering gets more intense. Pharaoh digs in his heels. The people's hope completely collapses. And even Moshe, the great leader, starts to question himself and God. This story isn't about the flash of miracles at first. It's about what happens to faith when it's put under immense pressure. Moshe stands before God and asks, "Why have you done evil to this people?" The Midrash tells us that in this moment, Moshe's faith didn't disappear. It trembled. It shook. And God's response is so powerful. Says, "I appeared to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. But by my name Hashem, I was not known to them." What does this mean? The commentator Rashi explains that our ancestors believed in God's promises without ever seeing them fulfilled. They held on to a future they would never witness. Moshe, on the other hand, wants answers right now. He wants to see the results. The lesson here is profound. Real faith is unproven by a big revelation or a sudden miracle. It's proven by our endurance when we see nothing at all. It's the ability to keep going in the dark. But the people couldn't endure. The Torah says they did not listen to Moshe because of shortness of breath and hard labor. In Hebrew, this is kotzeru. The Chassidic masters explained this isn't just physical exhaustion. It's spiritual suffocation. Their spirits were so crushed by slavery, so broken by the pain, that they couldn't even imagine a world of freedom. Their lungs couldn't take in the air of hope. The Mishnah teaches, according to the pain is the reward. The deeper the struggle, the greater the eventual growth. But it's in the Midrash that we find a hidden source of strength. While the men's spirits collapsed, the women refused to give up. They continued to build families, to believe in a future, to hold on to their identity. They kept hope alive in the small, quiet corners of their lives. It reminds us that sometimes faith survives not in the grand pronouncements, but in the quiet, resilient strength of those who refuse to let the light go out. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's heart hardens. The Talmud teaches something fascinating about this. At first, Pharaoh hardens his own heart. He makes a choice to resist. But after he repeatedly refuses to listen, a spiritual numbness sets in. Heaven then confirms his choice, sealing his heart for him. His resistance to truth eventually strips away his own free will. Kabbalah, the mystical tradition, sees the plagues as a process of spiritual cleansing for Egypt, stripping away layers of national ego. The plague of blood attacks their pride in the Nile. The plague of frogs attacks their addiction to chaos and noise. The plague of lice attacks their obsession with control. Each plague is a precise spiritual strike, designed to break down the walls of arrogance. Pharaoh's story is a warning. When we consistently close ourselves off to truth, we eventually lose the ability to even recognize it. I want to share my own Vieira moment with you. A few years ago, I felt God calling me to a new path. I prayed, I believed, I obeyed. I took a huge step of faith, and everything collapsed. The doors I thought would open slammed shut. People completely misunderstood my intentions. My prayers were met with what felt like total silence. And just like Moshe, I found myself asking, "God, did I hear you wrong? Was this all a mistake?" I was ready to quit. Then I remembered Varara. I remembered that redemption often starts invisibly. The plagues begin long before freedom is ever seen. The breakdown is part of the breakthrough. The most important choice wasn't about getting a different outcome. It was about choosing to stay. To trust the process. To continue walking forward, even in the confusion and the silence. Did I win my test? Yes. Not because my circumstances suddenly changed overnight. They didn't. I won because I stayed, and in staying, my faith matured from something that needed proof to something that could endure silence. It became stronger. There's a deep teaching hidden in the Hebrew alphabet. The word for faith, emunah, begins with the letter Aleph. The Aleph is a silent letter. This teaches us that true faith, true connection to God, begins with silent humility. It starts when our own ego, our own need for answers and control, finally quiets down. The Gemara teaches, greater is one who trusts in Hashem than one who sees miracles. Why? Because the one who sees a miracle is reacting to an external event. The one who trusts is building an internal reality. Chabad philosophy explains that faith, emunah, must eventually become not just belief, but deep, internalized knowledge that comes only through struggle. Vera teaches us that God doesn't just redeem people from tough situations. He redeems those who are willing to stay present with Him in the middle of their confusion. So, if you are in a Vira moment right now, listen closely. Your prayers seem to be hitting a ceiling. If your faith feels fragile and shaky, if doing the right thing, the obedient thing, just looks foolish to the outside world, stay. Just for today, stay, breathe, believe. Your story isn't over. The plagues against whatever is holding you captive have already started, even if you can't see them. Redemption is so much closer than it looks. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it.